Imagine losing everything in an instant, your job, your health, or even your freedom. How would you survive? In our modern, hyper-connected world, we are constantly bombarded with stress, uncertainty, and endless demands. We try to control everything, yet we often end up feeling like we control absolutely nothing. But what if I told you that the ultimate blueprint for emotional resilience wasn't discovered by a modern life coach, but was forged over 2,000 years ago by enslaved people, emperors, and warriors? Today, we are going to explore a secret psychological weapon. It's a framework so powerful that it forms the foundation of modern clinical psychology and is actively used by elite military leaders and top CEOs to navigate chaos. In this video, we will break down the ancient philosophy of Stoicism, how it links to modern psychology, and actionable steps you can take today to build an unbreakable mind. If you want to stop reacting and start commanding your life, keep watching. The cornerstone of emotional resilience begins with one brutally honest truth, perfectly summarized by the ancient philosopher Epictetus. Some things are up to us and others are not. This is known as the dichotomy of control. Most of our anxiety and suffering comes from confusing the two. We exhaust ourselves trying to manage outcomes, predict the future, or force other people to like us. We fight battles that simply cannot be won. According to Stoic philosophy, the things we have absolute control over are incredibly few: our judgments, our impulses, our desires, and our actions. Everything else, the economy, the weather, our reputation, and other people's actions, are completely outside of our control. The Stoics used a famous analogy. Imagine a dog tethered to a moving cart. The cart's movement is inevitable. The dog has two choices. It can walk alongside the cart, accepting the pace and direction, or it can resist, barking, fighting, and ultimately being dragged along anyway. Emotional resilience isn't about passive surrender. It's about acknowledging the cart, stopping the useless resistance, and focusing your energy on walking forward. True freedom comes not from controlling your circumstances, but from mastering yourself. You might be thinking, that's easy to say, but how do I actually stop getting upset? This brings us to a concept called fantasia cataleptica, which roughly translates to objective representation. When something bad happens, your brain automatically attaches a narrative to it. If you lose your job, your brain screams, "This is a disaster! My life is over!" But Stoicism teaches us to strip away the subjective layers of judgment. The objective representation is simply, I lost my job. I am now in a transition period. By sticking only to the facts, you instantly de-escalate your negative emotions. If this sounds like therapy, that's because it is. In the 1950s, psychologists Albert Ellis and Aaron T. Beck founded Cognitive-Behavioural Therapy, or CBT, which is today's gold standard for treating depression and anxiety. They explicitly based their therapies on Stoicism. They realized that Epictetus was right. Men are disturbed not by things, but by the views which they take of them. When you change your deeply held beliefs and judgments about a situation, your emotional response changes entirely. Modern studies on Stoic mindfulness and resilience training have shown that practicing these principles for just a few weeks can increase overall life satisfaction by 27% and decrease negative emotions by 23%. To understand how powerful this mindset is in extreme conditions, we need to look at the Stockdale Paradox. Admiral James Stockdale was the highest-ranking U.S. military officer held in a prisoner of war camp during the Vietnam War. For 8 years, he was repeatedly tortured, kept in solitary confinement, and had no certainty he would ever survive. Yet, he relied on the teachings of Epictetus to endure the unimaginable. When later asked who didn't make it out of the camps, Stockdale gave a surprising answer: the optimists. The optimists kept saying they would be rescued by Christmas, then Easter, then Thanksgiving. When those dates passed, they died of a broken heart. Stockdale survived by embodying a psychological duality. You must maintain unwavering faith that you will prevail in the end, regardless of the difficulties. But at the same time, you must have the discipline to confront the most brutal facts of your current reality. This echoes the experience of Viktor Frankl, a psychiatrist who survived the Holocaust. Frankl realized that even when stripped of everything, humans retain one ultimate freedom: the ability to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances. Between a stimulus and your response, there is a space, and in that space lies your power. So, how may you actively build this resilience? In your daily life, you don't wait for a crisis, you train for it. Here are 2 ancient exercises you can start today. Number 1, Premeditatio Malorum, the premeditation of evils. While toxic positivity tells us to only think good thoughts, Stoics do the opposite. They actively imagine things going wrong. Before a big presentation or a difficult day, visualize the worst-case scenarios. Your computer crashes, you get criticized, or you face rejection. By rehearsing these setbacks in your mind, you remove the shock factor. You don't do this to cause anxiety, but to realize that no matter what happens, you have the inner strength to handle it. Number 2, Amor Fati, love your fate. Don't just accept your struggles, embrace them. The philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche described this as the formula for human greatness. When a flight is delayed, when a relationship ends, or when you face illness, you don't just tolerate it. You say, "This is exactly what I needed." A strong fire turns everything thrown into it into flame and brightness. By loving your fate, you turn every obstacle into an opportunity for growth. Emotional resilience isn't about suppressing your emotions or acting like a robot. It's a deep, profound awareness. It's the realization that the world will bring storms, but your mind is an inner citadel that nothing can breach unless you let it. Start small. The next time you face traffic, a rude comment, or a bad day, pause. Ask yourself, is this in my control? If it's not, let it go. If you found value in this video and want to keep building a stronger, more resilient mind, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you don't miss our next deep dive. I want to hear from you. What is one thing you're trying to control right now that you need to let go of? Let me know in the comments below. Remember, the obstacle is the way. Stay strong, and I'll see you in the next video.